and the deeper meaning behind it, we are joined on the line by Kwa-Nobamba Zulu, founder of the Kwa-Nobamba Family Spiritual and Mental Wellness Institute and a very respected cultural expert. Mkhulu, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to The Upside. Let's get to know you a bit better and the work that you are doing at the Kwa-Nobamba Family Spiritual and Mental Wellness Institute.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Just snippets about who Nobamba Zulu is. The work that I do at Kwa-Nobamba is very simple. I bring together families and we deal with the family challenges, especially the crisis of people fighting in the family, people, not agreeing in family matters, and also the marriages, I bring in a spiritual and mental health perspective into those conversations. I do hikes with families, I do hikes with couples, and we have, spiritual and mental wellness conversations about the challenges that they may be experiencing as families. I use traditional methods. There is one beautiful method called inhlampuluko that I apply in my work, bringing families together to have conversations, but to have deeper conversations about what is the source of these problems that they are going through. Because in most cases, when people have challenges, especially in relationships and in families, they tend to want to just deal with what happened today or what happened yesterday. Our families are not able to look back and say, where does this problem really come from? Because in most cases, you find that the same thing keeps repeating itself over and over and over again, even when you would want to believe that you have dealt with this issue. But this thing keeps repeating itself. So we go deeper into finding source. What is it that within our family or in our relationship, this thing keeps repeating itself? So we help families and couples go through those issues and find a solution together. And also we make sure that we don't leave spirituality behind, because in most cases we forget that we only function when we are properly aligned, both spiritually, mentally, and physically. So that's how we approach most of our problem-solving methods.
Mkhulu, thank you so much for that. And I really like your point around alignment. I think that's something that we often just say glibly, but we don't really understand how important it is. But just looking at the current family structure in African families, and I think when we look at, just the urbanization of families, that is just becoming more and more apparent as we move on. It's not just, mom staying at home, dad staying at home in the homelands, dad working in the mines far, far away from home. Both parents are now working. The family structure is quite modernized. Education is quite modernized. So when you look at the structure of the African family, how does that then affect how we redefine spaces of leadership beyond the gender stereotypes, as it were? Because we are seeing a place where we're kind of battling with themes of empathy and also assertiveness in between men and women, as it were.
Yeah. Look, maybe first I need to attempt to correct something about gender equality and the male domination. Many people in conversations, and the narrative that is been going around has always been that male domination and gender inequality is influenced by culture. I don't think that is true. African culture is based on a balance, between male and female. Both masculinity and femininity, they need to work together to strike the balance. If you go back, Mandulo, you will find that in most cases, the people abaya emasimini bayolima, it would be women, and then men would go out hunting. So that is how you strike the balance. Most of these things came with the colonial system, and we misunderstood them as culture, and we've continuously. And because also another mission of colonialism was to demonize our cultures so that we adopt the new cultures that they're giving us. They actually, brought these narratives that our culture is bad for women, it is allowing male dominance and all that, and we believed it. I have heard very little about people seeing deeper into what religion also has contributed in male domination and in how religion treated women and all that. Religion is one of the tools of colonialism, psychological tools that was used to oppress, Africans. And one of the easiest ways to oppress a people is to demonize their cultures and give them something to replace what their culture is all about. So the narrative doesn't say anything about religion. And I believe when I dig deeper, I realize that religion looks like it's innocent. It is not innocent as well as at all, because even if you read the Bible or the Torah or the Quran, it's male dominated. All the stories there are male dominated. They actually don't even they're not even considering women. But just to come to your question, so I don't lose our listeners. Your question about urbanization and evolution and all that, that at the workplace now, you find women, you find men. So that means in a family setup, both of us in the morning, we're going to work. Yeah. No one stays at home and do all those home chores that somehow we were made to believe they are for one gender, which is a feminine gender, which I believe is not true. It was perpetrated or perpetuated by the system of colonialism, because it took men away to the mines, and then women remained back at home, and they found themselves doing everything, taking care of the children, cleaning the houses, and doing everything. When men come back, somehow it looked like it's culture that they don't do anything. I mean, I grew up cooking myself. I grew up in a very big family where we were raised by one grandmother, all of us, grandmother and grandfather. And I was cooking, I was cleaning, there was no such thing as girls will do the cleaning and the cooking and all that, and then boys will just be idling. We grew up cooking and doing all those things. So I think it's how we allow the narrative, to take dominance in most cases, or how we influence these discussions. So I believe that African culture and African spirituality is based on balance. In my own home, I've got 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, and then I have my wife. There's no duty for one particular gender. My boys cook, they clean the house. My girls do the same thing. They share the responsibility. I even allow them to share, to sit down and discuss who's doing what. And my wife does not have, she doesn't feel the obligation that when we all come back, she needs to cook for me. Or no, we sit down and discuss what are we eating today. As to who's going to cook, it's another thing. But,
Okay,
we do try to strike that balance, yes.
right. Point made. Thank you so much. We are in conversation with Mkhulu as we discuss really themes around cultural anxiety, male dominance versus where the feminine lies in all of that. So we are in conversation about this, and we're looking at spiritual matters, mental wellness, and the Mental Wellness Institute that he's currently reading. Of course, Kwa-Nobamba Zulu is joining us on the line. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Annika Longi sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les